Welcome back, fellow explorers. Today, we're taking a trip to one of the most recognizable and, let's be honest, beautiful sights in our entire solar system, the ringed wonder itself, Saturn.
But here's the thing. Everybody knows the rings, right? They're its claim to fame. But Saturn is so much more than that. It's a world of unbelievable storms, a whole family of bizarre moons, and physics that will just break your brain. So let's dive in and see what secrets it's hiding.
First up, let's get properly introduced to this gas giant. And to do that, we've got to go way back to the very beginning.
Okay, picture this. It's about 4.5 billion years ago. Our sun has just blinked into existence, and there are these huge clouds of leftover gas, mostly hydrogen and helium, swirling all around it. While that gas started to clump together. Just like its big brother Jupiter, Saturn was born from this ancient cosmic cloud, growing into the second biggest planet in the neighborhood.
And because it's made of gas, this is super important, there's no solid ground. You couldn't land a spaceship on Saturn. You just sink, falling down through its incredibly thick, dense layers of clouds forever.
Now, Saturn isn't just big. It is a planet of mind-bending extremes. The scale, the speed, the time, it's all kind of wild. Let's take a look.
Just to try and get your head around its size, you could line up more than 9 Earths side by side just to get across Saturn's middle. It is absolutely enormous.
But here's where it gets really weird. Even though it's so massive, Saturn spins super fast. A day there is only about 10.7 hours long. But because it's so far from the sun, its journey to go all the way around takes almost 29 of our years. Just think about that. You'd have to wait until you were almost 30 years old to celebrate your very first birthday.
All right, you can't talk about Saturn without talking about, well, it's time to decode its most spectacular feature, those famous rings. From way back here on Earth, they look like these perfect, solid, glowing halos around the planet. But what are they, really?
Well, the truth is, they're not solid at all, not even close. Saturn's rings are actually made of billions, and I mean billions, of individual little pieces, all orbiting the planet together. We're talking everything from tiny dust-sized bits of ice to chunks of rock as big as a house.
And the leading theory for where they all came from is just incredible. Scientists think these rings could be the cosmic rubble of ancient moons that either crashed into each other or got too close to Saturn and were ripped apart by its massive gravity. It's a reminder that our solar system is a really dynamic, sometimes violent place.
And speaking of moons, the rings aren't the only show in town. Saturn is basically the king of its own little solar system, with a huge and complex family of moons orbiting it.
Get this, at last count, we know of more than 145 moons orbiting Saturn. That's more than any other planet in our entire solar system. And a few of them are some of the most exciting places scientists are looking at right now. Let's just focus on the two big superstars. First, you've got Titan. It's a monster moon, bigger than the planet Mercury, with a thick, smoggy atmosphere and actual lakes of liquid methane on its surface. Then you have Enceladus. This little icy moon totally shocked everyone when we discovered it was shooting huge geysers of water vapor out into space. And that points to something incredible. A hidden ocean of liquid water, a key ingredient for life, sloshing around right now under that icy shell. An ocean. Okay, we've talked rings, we've talked moons, but now it's time for one of my absolute favorite fun facts about Saturn. It has to do with one of the strangest properties of any planet out there. To get it, we just need a quick refresher on density. All it means is how much stuff is packed into a space. Simple things. Less dense things, like a piece of wood, float on more dense things, like water. Easy enough, right? So, here's the pop quiz. Is there any planet in our entire solar system that is actually less dense than plain old water? And the answer, amazingly, is yes. It's Saturn. Because it's made up of mostly the two lightest gases, hydrogen and helium, its overall density is incredibly low, which leads to that famous thought experiment. If you could build a bathtub big enough to hold it, Saturn would float. So how in the world do we know all these incredible details? Well, it comes from decades of hard work, and from one robotic explorer in particular that completely changed the game. For 13 solid years, the Cassini spacecraft was basically our eyes and ears out there. It was one of the most successful missions NASA has ever launched, and it totally rewrote the book on what we thought we knew about the outer solar system.
I mean, Cassini's impact was just monumental. It gave us these
breathtaking, close-up pictures of the rings, showing us just how complex they are. It's the mission that spotted those water geysers erupting from Enceladus, a total game-changer. And it even dropped a probe, called Huygens, right onto the surface of Titan. That's the most distant landing we've ever pulled off. These weren't just small finds, they were revolutionary discoveries.
And that's really the bottom line. Studying Saturn isn't just about cataloging one cool planet. Finding potential liquid oceans and complex chemistry so far from the warmth of the sun, it forces us to get way more creative about where life might be hiding out there in the cosmos.
Which leaves us with a pretty tantalizing question, doesn't it? Could the grand journey to find life beyond Earth lead us right back to those little hidden ocean moons orbiting the jewel of our solar system?